Hello food fans, we're at the piano today, but I won't be playing any piano music right now. What I'm going to do is use this opportunity that I have to show you what I used to have for lunch back in the 1950s. I'm at my number 2 house, and I will be doing a video here on the piano a little bit later, but for right now I want to talk about what used to be called Franco American spaghetti. 1956 until about 1960 I used to have Franco American spaghetti for lunch at least once a week, sometimes twice a week. And the Franco American brand was purchased by Campbell's, and they have made this item here Campbell's spaghetti, but it's supposedly the Franco American recipe. My friend Don Anderson sent this to me, and I will tell you the bad news first. The bad news first. About 1971, more than 50 years ago, was the last time I happened to get sick to my stomach and throw up. 50 years with no upset stomach. But 50 years ago, about 1971, I was having some Franco American spaghetti, and oddly enough, on radio that day they had a repeat of the Mars Attacks Earth radio program of Orson Welles, and there was something about the combination of that story, which was considered to have frightened many people into committing suicide. The radio program frightened people into committing suicide, and that and the Franco American spaghetti, and about 30 minutes later I was feeling like I was dizzy or whatever. But we'll give Franco American spaghetti another chance. Now the first thing I'm going to do is open it. It has a new can where you don't need a can opener to open it. But what I'm going to do is use a different video camera to show the opening of this can. And the reason I'm doing that, the look, the way the spaghetti looks will tell me almost immediately whether or not it is the original Franco American spaghetti or some brand new recipe they're trying out. So here, I'll go to this camera now, and we'll see that this is, Campbell's spaghetti, and this is not the SpaghettiOs, this is the spaghetti. And what I will do is pull back the pop top, and okay, we have that pulled back. Now what I'm going to do is lift the top, and I'll show you what I see when I first lift the top. And the spaghetti sauce is too wet, too much water, or whatever they put in it. And let me get my spoon here. Let's see this. That is not a thick spaghetti sauce at all, so that's a danger. But we will try it anyway, because in addition to the spaghetti, I have oranges, an orange. I'm going to have a root beer. In my case, I used to have either a Coke or a Pepsi or 7-Up or a root beer. And I'm going to have a fruit cocktail. I used to have that every day for lunch. I enjoyed that. So let me go back to the other camera and turn this camera off and put this camera right over here, I guess. Hope it stays there, and taste the spaghetti. We'll begin by tasting the spaghetti with too much thin, wet sauce. This is not the way they used to make Franco American spaghetti. This is a different recipe, I'm reasonably certain. Let's see if it does taste the same otherwise. First of all, I'm worried about the drip factor. Taste-wise, It is okay. No problems with the taste. It's just too thin. I would like a spaghetti that has a very thick sauce. There's no meat in this. I used to have vegetarian lunches long before it became an in thing. I would have vegetarian vegetable soup once or twice a week. I would have Franco American spaghetti once or twice a week. I loved coleslaw. Now let me take a sip of root beer. I'll put this over here. They used to have pianos everywhere. Very hot here today. The temperature in the Nashville area is about 97, 98 degrees supposedly, and then the heat index factor, there's my orange, the heat index makes it about 109, I think they said. This is an orange. I'm going to peel the orange the way I used to peel an orange every day, or every day when I didn't take a banana instead of an orange. I used to carry my lunch with me, walk through the streets of Los Angeles, and I'd go to 1300 Factory Place, which at that time was Stationers Corporation, which was a big warehouse, a couple hundred people working there, including me. And it was a nice place to work. I made $1.30 an hour when I started working there. And I started working there probably April of 1956. When I left the employment of Stationers Corporation, I was making $1.60 an hour. Let me get this. This is navel orange, and usually the peeling comes off more easily with a navel orange. And oranges usually taste pretty good. Back in the 1950s, if you bought oranges, you bought them by the dozen. Did not buy them by the pound. And they would be wrapped in purple crepe paper, and yes, I do eat the white part. On the back of the skin of the orange. Don't know if it's good for you or not. It hasn't hurt me yet. Oranges used to sometimes have a sour flavor. Something just flew by. What is that? Is that a wasp? Probably. Used to have a lot of wasps in this area, but about 5 years ago they just sort of disappeared. And as a rule, they do not bother me. They and I have a truce. We signed an agreement a long time ago. But I'm just protected from the wasps in the northern sector. The southern sector wasps you've got to watch out for. Also, if you ever see a hornet or a hornet's nest, stay away from that. Hornets do not have a sense of humor. They are aggressive, they're violent. And a nest full of hornets could actually be the last thing some people see. I always ask the people who trim my trees, have you ever climbed up into a tree and found a hornet's nest? And most of them have. And in the Midwest, this being Tennessee, a hornet's nest in a tree can be huge. That's pretty good. Orange. Very sweet. Got this at Aldi. Can't remember the price, but it was on sale. Food prices are getting higher. plant your garden. If you can. If you live in the Southern California area, I'm going to have a taste of root beer here. If you live in Southern California, I will suggest that you learn to recognize the carob tree, a breadfruit tree. They planted a lot of the carob trees back during the Depression with the thought that in case another depression comes along, there'd be some food growing there at the side of the road, just in case people are walking along, they see the carob tree has a thing that it grows that looks like a big pea pod, or if you've seen the movie Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the pods with little lumps inside the pods and a long, sort of like a green bean. That's what it looks like. But the carob trees has a very long green bean, and instead of being green, it's brown. And believe it or not, it tastes like chocolate. And you can eat that, and if you look up on the internet or somewhere, find out what they look like. And if you're hurting for food, you can eat that. This tastes better after I get down a little farther into the can of Franco American spaghetti, which is actually now Campbell's spaghetti. Still, the sauce is much too thin. What they need to do would be cook up twice as much spaghetti and dump it in the same amount of sauce. This is good. This would make a nice main ingredient for a lunch. A low-cost lunch. More root beer. Let me get the fruit cocktail. I'll open that. It's one of the pull tab cans. And let's see if we can see that. Don't want to tilt it too far, it'll fall out, but it's got good fruit cocktail. These cans of fruit cocktail cost, where did I put all my spoons in my spaghetti? That's a good spot for it. And the spaghetti is on the piano. What's a sentence never been said before? The spaghetti is on the piano. We got some grapes, some pineapple, some pears. Very, very good. 99 cents at Aldi. The root beer came from Kroger. I do not have any deals with any company or manufacturer right now, or food source. I've always enjoyed shopping at Aldi. I enjoyed shopping at Kroger. I enjoyed shopping at Walmart. There are bargains at all those places. And the places in the past where I used to go shopping, like Safeway. I heard a joke about Safeway. In the 1950s, I heard this joke. A mouse went to Kroger and got pregnant. The mouse, same mouse, decides, well, I don't want to be here at Kroger. The mouse goes to Aldi's and got pregnant. Then the mouse went to Smith's Food King, got pregnant. And the mouse said, there must be a safe way. The memory of my lunches of long ago with Franco American spaghetti are very pleasant. By the way, I worked at Stationers Corporation from sometime in April of 1956 until the last working day, I'm not sure what day it was, the last working day of 1957. I didn't want to mess up my income taxes by having working an extra day or two and then having to fill out taxes for 1958. But the last working day of 57, I left Stationers Corporation. Have some spaghetti here. And then early in 1958, I joined the United States Army. The Army had good food. The food I had was good. This ain't too bad, I'll tell you. More fruit cocktail. And I'll eat a little bit more of the orange. So back then in the 1950s, I was eating what I wanted to for lunch. I didn't eat hot dogs and lots of other tempting foods because I preferred this. It's what I wanted, it's what I ate. And I'm still around now. I don't know if it's because my diet was much more sensible than what some people were eating. The orange. Stationers Corporation became a loft, a lot of lofts downtown. I used to live at the El Dorado Hotel, 416 South Spring Street, Los Angeles. I paid $45 a month to live there in a nice room with a big bath, big room. $45 a month. Now you probably couldn't touch any of the lofts there for under 600,000, I would guess. Have an orange. I will eat the orange, I will eat the spaghetti, I will eat the fruit cocktail, and I will drink my root beer. And I will make another video for today. It's not about food. I'll try to get it uploaded also. I will talk to you about those of you who want to be singers, who've tried singing and you didn't have really good luck with singing. Why is that? I'll tell you how not to give up on your voice. And I thank you for watching.